Good morning, everyone. My name is Ibrahim. I've come here from Afghanistan. I was born and raised in Pakistan as a refugee, and for the past 17 years, I'm working with the global partner of Presbyterian World Service and Development in Afghanistan. I live there with my family. So in this organization, our aim is to work for the people who need our assistance the most. We have offices across Pakistan and Afghanistan with over 400 staff, and majority of them are women. It's hard to keep that gender ratio in current times in Afghanistan, but we have tried our best. So in Pakistan, we are partnering with PWSND since 2005, since the major earthquake in Pakistan happened, and we have assisted some 15,000 families in the past 7 years for food assistance. And in 2022, we responded to the floods in Pakistan and assisted additional 9,000 families. We have worked in health, food security, and girls' education in Pakistan. Yeah, next slide. In Afghanistan, we are partnering with Presbyterian World Service and Development since 2008, and we have assisted 200 girls' schools. We have assisted them with the supplies, enhancing the enrollment. We unfortunately had to stop that project because of the legal requirement by the Canadian government that the funds could not go to Afghanistan at that time. We have assisted 100,000 people and constructed 12 clinics and provided them all the health services for 7 years. We have also helped in the COVID times. We just concluded one project and assisted 4,825 families in the Central Highland. Can you move next slide, please? So, Afghanistan is currently going through times when girls' education is not allowed, when we have over 3,000 malnourished children, when the number of widows is in millions, and when I say widows, I see women who need our assistance. They are not educated, they are not skilled, and there is no economic activity going on. So in order for them to provide food to their children, they depend on humanitarian assistance. There are restrictions on women work. 91% of the people, they spent all their income on food supplies. Next slide. For the past few decades, the country has been in conflict, and currently with climate-induced crises, that's drought, flood, and also the low level of resilience of people due to their education, awareness, and skills adapting to climate impacts. There are restrictive rules on women in different segments of society. The poverty is there, the unemployment, the internally displaced people, and recently we have an influx of refugees coming from Iran and Pakistan. Those are some of the drivers of humanitarian need in 2024. Next slide. This is Hassan's family. I wonder how many of you heard of the earthquake in October 2007. I think not many might have heard because that didn't come on the media. It happened on the 7th of October in western Afghanistan, and we have seen that districts were flattened. We wouldn't see any standing wall left. Unfortunately, that event was overrun in media because of the other developments in 7th of October in the Middle East. So not many people were aware of what happened there. We were able to assist the support that you sent us, the family of Hassan. They were affected by the earthquake. They received winterized tent from us and food assistance for 3 months. They were very thankful to each one of you and all those Canadians who helped them. They were able to slowly refocus on their life, as with the earthquake, everything was taken. In the next slide, you see the family of Amin. He's 70 years old. He lost his 16 sheep. His elder son is a teenager. He used to work in Iran as a deli wager. Sometimes he was able to send them money, sometimes not. He was very thankful to receive the winterized tent and the food assistance. In the next slide, you see this woman. She's a widow. She used to work in a charity organization as a cleaner, but unfortunately she lost her job because of the ban on women work in Afghanistan. She has 4 kids, all under 6. During the day, she would go out with her older son, the 6-year-old, and she would beg for food, for leftover food to feed her family. She lives in the cave behind that you see behind her, and all the other children would stay at home by the time she returns. So in the next slide, you see she would used to do embroidery at the night, and in the morning she would go out for begging for food. And she received the assistance, a food assistance for 3 months from the project that we did with Presbyterian World Service and Development. And she was able to send her son to the school. And she just wishes and prays to God that somehow if she would be able to get some supplies for embroidery so that she is able to not remove her children from the school. And so when thinking of Afghanistan, the question always comes to our mind, what can now be done with all that's happening out there? There are ban on women. The women are erased from almost all aspects of public life. And so one area that we currently work in is digital education. We provide them online education with tablet and everything, and the teachers are based not in Afghanistan but outside Afghanistan just for their safety. And we are also dependent on the food security programs. We need to continue with that, given the reasons that there are millions of widows whose sole dependence is on humanitarian assistance. And there are orphans because of the war that continued for decades. So food security will continue to be a top priority. And alongside that, we feel that with food security, we will never be able to come out of this crisis. And so we are also providing them different income generation or livelihood trainings so that they are able to be empowered. There are over 3 million of children who are malnourished, and the women seeking psychosocial support, especially in current times, have increased a lot. So health, nutrition support, education, and livelihoods will be our top priorities. And just to give you some perspective, the World Happiness Report put Afghanistan on the rock bottom in the ranking. So in the whole world. And luckily, Canada was 15th on that. So I see people also have issues here, genuine concerns, and they're also genuine. But the reason I'm sharing this with you, just for you to think what people in Afghanistan are going through. And talking about perspective, I'm here for the past few days, and PWSND is feeding me well. So when I go to the hotel for breakfast, for lunch and dinner, the amount of money that I spend for one day is enough for a family of 7 that we feed them for a month. In Afghanistan, we are able to feed one family of 7 persons for a month with Canadian $50. So that's how the situation out there is. It's not that commodities and groceries is not available, but the problem is there is no economic activity, there are no jobs, there is not many things that people can do on their own, so they depend on humanitarian assistance. And so I always thought and was excited to be here and in front of you, thank you in person. The feelings that I receive from the children, from the women, whenever we have provided them the assistance. And it's very hard to put that in words. And please accept our gratitude to all of you, to all the Canadians who have been supporting us, who have been sending the prayers and giving us hope of a better life. Thank you.
I'd like to extend heartfelt appreciation, Ibrahim, for your enlightening presentation today. On behalf of our congregation and our partners at Presbyterian World Service and Development, we thank you for the sharing the impactful and crucial work your organization is accomplishing. Your efforts towards building a more just, equal, and peaceful community across Asia, and particularly in challenging environments like Pakistan and Afghanistan, are truly commendable. And we are inspired by the strides you are making in health, education, and food security, and in advocating for the rights and well-being of marginalized communities. So we look forward to continuing our support and learning more about how we can contribute to these noble efforts. Thank you.